Good afternoon, everybody. So I know this is not my normal time to go live, but I really wanted to put this together before the weekend. So, when you're like scrolling around and you see something, but then you can't for the life of you remember where you saw it, that's what happened to me. I saw something, I don't even know where I was, whether I was on Pinterest or Facebook or whatever. But it was the beginning. It was like a, sorry, just one sec. It was like a St. Patrick's Day garland of some sort. So then I thought, okay, well, I went back, tried to find it. Hey, Glenda. Hey, Jess. And I couldn't find it. So then, of course, I had to make it into close to my heart anyway. So yesterday I did some prep so that it's not going to take crazy long time for you to watch while I put it together. But um, this is going to end up being a St. Patrick's Day garland. So it's like the colors of the rainbow, as you can see. And then there's little clovers and horseshoes that we're going to attach onto the garland. So I cut these ones with the thin cuts, but I've created a design space file for it, and I'm going to post it all on my blog after we assemble it and then take pictures and stuff. So I have my all-purpose mat down because we're going to be doing some gluing and stuff. So each of the colors, so you could use actually whatever kind of colors you want. I used, for the one we're going to make today, I'll move it back for a second. So I have candy apple, raspberry, nectarine, lemon, willow, bluebird, which I love, the new bluebird, and then pansy for the purple. So we're going to put it together now. So I'll show you. So each of the colors will take one full sheet of cardstock, and your Cricut will cut it and score it if you have the scoring blade in. So we're going to put one together just so that you get the idea of what I actually did beforehand yesterday. And then, so it's going to make, we want two, I made two large spheres for each color. And because of our two-tone cardstock, I made one light and the other will be dark. So I'm just going to put a dark one together right now just to show you how to put one together so that if you want to make one yourself, you can. So each sphere is going to be 6 circles. So from the single sheet of cardstock, you'll get 2 sets of spheres and then a smaller sphere. So like I said, I'm doing one dark, and then you flip it over and you do one light and then the small one. I thought that just having the one lighter one in the middle too would help transition. So there's already a score line on here, so I'm just going to fold them with my bone folder. And this is, I'm just showing you what I did yesterday. So 3 are there, and 3 are here. So I have, like, in my living room, a long, it runs the length of our whole wall, and it's just like display shelves almost. And so there's like, hey Patricia, there's like knickknacks and stuff, pictures on it and stuff. And so for Valentine's Day, I have one that runs across the bottom that's I got like at Target or something, and it was just like actually like light up hearts. So I thought I'm going to switch it out and do something for St. Patrick's Day. So then you want to make your piles. So for each sphere, you need 6 circles, and they're all scored. So then what you do is I'm going to take my liquid glass, and I'm going to glue them together because I don't want them to come apart. So I'm going to use liquid glass. And so originally I was thinking when I first started, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do the paper, the colors of So Much Happy, and then do the like the pieces in the middle. You'll see like the clovers in like emerald green or whatever, whichever is the green that goes. And then I thought, oh no, I think I'll do rainbow for St. Patrick's Day because the pot of gold at the end. Okay, so I'm just putting liquid glass on the semicircle. So I'm putting it around the outer edge and down the middle. And basically you're just creating like a 3D sphere or like ornament. So what I've done so far is I've created all of these. So it's just that simple. So then you would do exactly the same thing with the other half. Again, I'll just show you quickly again. Oh, here comes the dog downstairs. You could hear me talking. I'm sure he was trying to figure out if I was actually talking to somebody. So as you can see, it goes together actually quite quickly. So just around the outer edge, and just because I want to make sure that it's going to stick together. So you just kind of line them up like so. Okay, so that's the part I did yesterday. So each sphere is 2 of these, and we're going to run a garland through the middle. Okay, and I have not tried this, so we're not really sure what it's going to look like. But, so I have grabbed, I'm just going to move these over. I've got a piece of white and gold twine, and I thought that's perfect because of the gold in here. So now what I've done is I figured out how I wanted them to go across. So, and then I have cut from the gold foil paper clovers, and I made them 2-sided. So there's a mirror image, and I put a hole in the top so that it'll attach onto my garland. And then there's little horseshoes. So we're going to hang those all along the piece of garland. So I want to start with one end. So I'm going to leave myself, let me just see if I can move everything over a little bit. I just don't want to get my liquid glass on everything, but I want something hard under there. Okay, so I think I have pulled more than enough off my twine. So I have, hey Miss Sue. Okay, so I'm going to attach, there's 2 ways you could do it. You can actually attach them right onto the twine like this and tie it, but I was just kind of not too sure. So I can tie it like that, and then we're going to add a sphere. Or I was thinking we could also attach it with the skinny ribbon onto the twine. But I think for right now, I'm just going to leave myself a nice long end, and I'm going to tie it. Just because I don't want the clover to slide. But like I said, so I created a mirrored image and then there's a hole on it. So you'll be able to, because the gold foil paper is only one-sided, you're just going to glue them together. Okay, so then the way I have them lined up is I have a small sphere and then a dark sphere, and then we're going to do a light sphere before we move on to the next one. So this is the dark side of the cardstock for the small sphere. So I'm just going to leave enough room. So I think a few inches. Okay, so I'm going to put my sphere here, and I have my other half. So I just want to make sure that the twine stays in here. So I'm just going to run a little bit of liquid glass in the middle of my sphere. Of course, I'm talking away and now I have an air bubble. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glass in the middle of my sphere and tack my first half down. Like that. Okay. And then, and it will start adhering right away. And then I'm just going to add my liquid glue around the outside. And again, same thing for this one. I'm going to add a little bit to that seam in the middle so that I know that it's going to stick. And then I tried to get the camera as low as possible and still have, so you could see enough without hopefully seeing my head the whole time. So see, I've sandwiched the twine in the middle there. I'm just going to hold it for a second. Okay, and then you'll see now we have a sphere around the twine like that. Okay, so then when it hangs, it'll hang like this. Okay, so now this was a dark one, remember? So now I've got my big one that's a dark one too, and I'm just going to put it a few inches over. I'm going to try and space them out about the same. Same thing. These are my dark ones, and here's my light ones are next. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glass in the middle. And it so doesn't have to be perfect because nobody's actually going to be able to tell once it's hanging up. You're so funny, Susan. Okay, so I just kind of, I know it's that far apart, so I'll go about that. And then, same thing, I'll put a little bit of liquid glue around the outside of this one. And I run it down the middle of my sphere again. And I'll just place it on top. So because they're all the same size, it's super easy to line them up. And again, I kind of can just push on it flat. And then in between each color, we're going to put a gold embellishment, like cricket cut. Okay, so there, we've got the clover, a dark one, and now I've got a light one. And I know it's about 3 fingers, so I'll just add my liquid glue. Just make sure. So this is my light. It's going to be super hard. You're not going to be able to see it really, probably, but you could see. So I just wanted it to go lighter before I go on to my next color. So then I know my glue is going on my dark side. So that's the advantage to having the two-toned cardstock. You don't have to worry about finding like a transition color. So there we go. Like that. And then again, I'm just making sure that I have the liquid glue in the middle, because then the spheres won't slide on the twine. Again, you can see it's super easy to line it up. I'll try and do it this way so you can see. Because they're all exactly the same shape, you're basically just now creating a sandwich for them. Okay, and then so then when it's hanging, I think it'll look super cute. Sorry, the camera's going to try and autofocus all the time. Okay, so then now I have another clover. So this is where it's way more advantageous to tie it onto the twine. So maybe we'll try that before I run it all the way through the twine. We'll see how that looks. So I have just a piece of the skinny white and gold twine ribbon. You could also use the white ribbon if you wanted a little bit thicker, or you could actually just use another piece of twine too to tie them on. So I thought I could do it like this. This way you could also have them dangle a little bit more if you wanted, so that not everything is all at the same height. So by doing this, now I don't have to run it all the way from the other end of the twine. So I will just tie this on, and then later I'll trim down all my ribbons, because I might add in another layer of ribbon in there. Okay, so then next I will add nectarine. Oh, no, sorry, raspberry. So again, I just have them sitting in their order. So I have a small dark one and a bigger dark one, and then the light one. So same thing. Guys, I'll be a pro at this by the time I get all these colors on here. Yes, I think it's better to put the extra pieces on with the ribbon. And then I'm just going to add some more ribbons in there after, I think, just to make them a little more decorative. So I cut, like I said, some with the gold foil paper. And then I cut a few with the gold glitter paper too. I cut a few that have a little bit more sparkle. So super fast craft, and takes next to nothing. It's like it's a piece of, like I said, each set of spheres, I got them so they fit on one piece of cardstock. So super cute. And you really just have to hold it for a second, and then you're good to go on to the next one. So then I have two darks. So if you guys are just popping on, I'm making a garland for St. Patrick's Day, and they are, so it's the colors of the rainbow, and they're all spheres. and they're on a piece of twine. So I'm going to hang them in my living room. And once I take pictures and upload them to my blog, there'll be a Design Space file. So hopefully I can get that done and everything posted for tomorrow, which is Saturday. So then if you actually wanted to make it, you can. It'll go together super quick once I have all the files up there. So really, you're just going to keep on going. Like I said, once the liquid glass is on there, just kind of hold it for a few seconds to make sure everything is sandwiched in there and sealed down. If you have a little bit of extra liquid glass, just wipe it off. So there we go. I'm assuming you guys are going to get bored after a while watching me glue these spheres on here, but you will definitely know how to do it. I figure I'll get to at least the glitter clover, and then really it's all the same. So like I said, I did a smaller one that's the dark side of the cardstock, and then a bigger one that's the dark side of the cardstock. And then as for my transition one, I have done it on the lighter side of the cardstock before I move on to the next color. And just remember, you do have a little bit of time with the liquid glue before it completely sticks, but it's good and strong so that it is not going anywhere once it's on there. So they kind of will spin too once they're hanging. Okay, so now I have a horseshoe. So also the horseshoe is double-sided. So I thought kind of it will look cute, just kind of like that. But I think this one I might try and pull through my twine. I know I have too much twine, but I wasn't quite sure how much twine I would need. So just slightly moving this out of my way. See, that was my fear of what might happen pulling it through the twine. There we go. So I kind of thought it'll just hang like that. Actually, making this yesterday, so I had to go grocery shopping this morning, and I ended up buying Lucky Charms this morning. And the only time I ever buy them normally is around St. Patrick's Day for some reason. But they were on sale, so that's good. There we go. But once you guys watch kind of one set, you kind of get the hang of how it's gonna look. And then like I said, I'll post pictures on my blog, and the blog address is right there. And like I said, there'll be a Design Space file for all the gold accents and the color spheres. And when I did it, the ones I cut yesterday, I cut them with the thin cuts, and that works too. But I have since worked on the design space file, so that it cuts it and scores it, or if you prefer, you can do it with your thin cuts. Okay, so now I have nectarine, and again, so I have a dark small one and a dark big one, and then my light big one. So and I'm just kind of adding them on every couple of inches because I have a big long space that I could put them on, but you could put them closer together, or you could put less spheres on if you didn't have as long a space. I also think you could kind of like drape them so that they would run over top of each other. So again, just I'm giving it a little bit of space, making sure that there's glue down the center of the spheres. Not super complicated, but I think it's going to be so cute. You could do the same thing with pattern paper or cardstock. And this month all our paper is on sale, so that's the perfect time. Like I said, you could do it so many different ways. You could do pattern paper and cardstock for the spheres and mix them up. So I just kind of open it up flat, and then I'm going to add it a few inches over. And I'm just kind of making sure to kind of just run my fingers over the twine just a little bit so that it's not super kinked. I kind of took the whole thing and tried to straighten it a little bit before I started. So again, just running it down the middle and around the edges. And then I'm going to open it up so that I know it's flat. And I actually think I'm getting way too much, I'm using too much liquid glass right now, because I think I'm trying to do it quickly so that you guys aren't sitting here watching me. For a super long time. Again, just open up the sphere. So there you go. Like once it's on there, there's kind of each half on each side of the string, and they'll spin. Okay, so now it's my light one. You could do it for any sort of party too. Like if there was for a shower, you could just have the accents be different, like whatever you would have for a wedding shower. And you could do it in like bride's colors, or if you needed it to match a birthday theme. So many possibilities. So like I said, I'll try and get everything up on my blog by Saturday, which is like March the 9th already. I can hardly believe it. I'm ready for spring though. We haven't had actually spring yet. So anytime that wants to show up, I'm ready for it. Okay, so now I've cut the same shape, but I cut a couple out of the glitter cardstock. And so again, same thing, they're just front and back, and I mirrored the images, and I The design space file will cut the hole out of the top and everything. So this is to take the place of my Valentine's Day home decor from last month. So there we go. And I'll just tie it into place. Like I said, you don't actually have to have this much twine if you already know the exact spacing that you want them or how long it'll be in the end. I wasn't really sure, so I just unwound the whole, what I had left on my white and gold twine. I probably could do this too. Wind it up a little bit. But I still need to be able to get it through the hole. So basically it's all the same thing. So if you guys want to drop off, that's okay too. Okay, so from the nectarine, then I have the lemon. So again, I did a little dark one, a big dark one, and then a lighter one. And if you don't necessarily have these colors, like I said, you could use any of the yellow, like pick the cardstocks that you have that are the closest. So I'm just going to lay my twine in there. And you just want to make sure that it's on the twine well, because then it'll be able to spin. I love the fact that with a few pieces of paper, you could do so many different things with the same idea. They just posted a new home decor bundle with the letters that spell home. You could see that on the website. You could do it in all the colors to match that if you had the right space for it. I also have like a door frame that I sometimes hang like a Christmas bough over top of, and I thought it would look cute hanging in there too. You just want to make sure, like I'm using liquid glass because I want to make sure that it's going to dry fast enough that they're not going to come apart on me. So just kind of going slow. But as soon as it's kind of in place, it'll dry hard and they're good to hang. So there we go. In like 35 minutes, I put together over half of it. I'm almost finished. And with the Cricut doing the cutting, it definitely will come together quickly. And you could totally switch out if you had other things that you thought were more St. Patrick's Day-y. I couldn't think of very many things other than the clover and the horseshoe. Both those images are from the flower market. So you will need that cartridge if you want to cut it with the Design Space file, or if you have something else, you could switch it out. So also, we have 3 birthday parties on Sunday. All the boys in the family are born in February and March. So I thought, oh, I could totally do boys colors, and it would be super cute with birthday icons in the middle instead of the St. Patrick's Day icons. See, and the nice thing, because I've glued them together, it doesn't matter which way you put them. You kind of, and the reason that I switched it up is I kind of just wanted a little bit more interest. And that's why I mixed the foil paper and the gold glitter. Okay guys, I think this is going to be so cute. So, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, but it's not super complicated, like I said, but I think it's going to look great when it's hanging. Oops, wrong twine. There we go. So again, guys, I'm making a St. Patrick's Day garland, and it's all the colors of the rainbow, and then some little decorations in the middle. And so I'm up to yellow. I still have the green. So for the green, I'm just going to pull this off the side of my table here. So the colors I used again were candy apple, raspberry, nectarine, lemon. Then I have willow. So I have one little sphere in the dark color and a bigger one, and then the light one. So I'm just making sure there's glue in the middle of the seam, and then that's where I'm going to lay the twine. And I thought it was kind of cute because it's different than the normal, you know, banners or pennants that say like Happy St. Patrick's Day or whatever. So for the green here, I have willow. I just kind of want to push it together and then fluff it up. There we go. And guys, I'm just kind of using my fingers to space it. It's not going to be exact, but it's pretty close. It's all the same. So again, the little one is dark, and then I have a dark big one, and then I made a light one to transition to the next color. a little bit easier. And like I said, these would be also super cute if you ran them through an embossing folder and they had texture to them. Yes. So I don't normally come on at this time of day and I had to run out all morning. So, but I knew I wanted to do this today so that I could hang it up and it would be up for at least a week. Because I think St. Patrick's Day is next weekend. So there we go. So now I have a light one. And I literally just stacked them. I decided the order I wanted them, played around with them in a line until I got them how I wanted them. And then just made sure they were all there. And I picked the charms that I guess the charms kind of that I wanted in the middle, an order I wanted them to go in. You can actually, if you cut the charms out, like not with all one paper, either like all with the glitter paper, you could cut them actually out all with cardstock too if you prefer, but not the gold foil and the glitter paper, and then you actually could get them all on one sheet. In the Design Space file, it actually shows 2 sheets, but you don't actually need to cut them out of 2 sheets. If you want, you can cut them out all the same. Or you can make the clovers green. Like I said, so easy and fun, but cute. So I need a sip of water. Okay, so now I have a horseshoe. And like I said, so the horseshoe, I cut 2 of them and they're glued together. I did that at the same time when I was working on creating the spheres before I started. So for the horseshoe, I'm just running it through one of the holes. And I did use liquid glue to glue the 2 mirrored images together also. So it'll just hang like that. Okay, we're getting close. I just have the bluebird and the pansy left. Thanks for everybody that's hanging on there. Okay, here's the lighter one. And here's my darker one. And here's my little dark one. So does anybody have anything super exciting they're doing this weekend? We are not doing much here. Apparently it's supposed to snow here again all weekend, just what we need. But at least it's supposed to be slightly warmer. But I think that we had, they said, the snowiest February maybe ever. Now, I'm not exactly sure about that, so don't quote me on that. But we had a lot of snow in February, which is not normal. It's normally so cold it doesn't even snow here in February. But it did. It was cold and it did snow. So I will be happy to be just holed up inside. Probably doing laundry and exciting things like that. You could probably also, if you prefer, you could hot glue gun them. I don't like the all the strings, and sometimes I don't like the way hot glue looks with paper. So that's why I'm using the liquid glass. There we go. I'm getting there. Gotta love that each time I use the liquid glass, it never looks the same on the sphere. Keeps it interesting that way. It's a different design. Like, how cute is that going to be hanging up? Okay. So this is the light one. Ooh, ooh, we're almost on the last color. Maybe if it's actually nice and snowy, then I'll go out. So here, this winter, um, there's a guy that in the summer they build like a corn maze. So it's like a fall venue. But they were somewhere else and they saw a snow maze, and it used to be the biggest snow maze. I'm not really sure whether the other one had been actually the biggest in the world. But so these guys here decided they wanted to try and build the biggest snow maze in the world. And they actually got it. Like Guinness Book of World Records came and measured everything that needs to be measured. And I actually think I might like to go and see it just to say that I've been to it. And actually, maybe if it's nice this weekend, that's something to do. But they say that the walls are about 6 feet high, so even if it was actually cold, it's not bad on the inside because you're blocked from the wind. But I'm assuming if it's actually nice here finally, it might be like a crazy busy time. But hopefully we will start to see some snow melt soon. And then it'll be gone, which is just weird to think too. But yeah, it was apparently a whole process to get themselves in the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay, so now I'm on to Pansy. And I have a small one that's dark, a big one that's dark, and then the light one for the very end. And then I just have another clover for at the very end. So you could add like way more decorations along the way if you wanted, more ribbons. This would be cute with snow, like to make three-dimensional snowflakes for the winter. Now that I'm thinking about snow. Because you can really create any three-dimensional shape on the twine. So just kind of want to push If you have too much liquid glue, you just kind of want to push it together. I think that even my poor dog is going stir crazy because there's like so much snow in the backyard. There's actually like nowhere even to play. I had to actually shovel a little path out there for him because he's a doodle too, and when there's tons of snow, it's not very fun on his fur. There we go. One more left. So do you guys normally decorate for St. Patrick's Day? I always put up, I kind of try and put up something for everything. Not necessarily are all of them as big as the other ones, but St. Patrick's Day is kind of like that one that gets sandwiched in between Easter and Valentine's Day. But it's kind of fun because it's been so dreary. I thought this nice colorful rainbow would be perfect. I don't even know how I'm going to photograph this whole thing because it's long now. I'll have to lay it flat and photograph it and then put it in its space and add some photos. Okay, and then I have the last little clover shamrock here. And I picked the 4-leaf clover instead of the 3-leaf clover. I thought that was better luck. Hey, Linda. Okay, and then I will cut the end off. And I actually thought I might, if I need to have it weighted, I might put one of the clips on the, like the gold clips on the bottom. Like the little gold hearts are in the clearance section, and I thought I could tie them onto the bottom of the twine and it would weight it down once it's up there. Okay, so let's just move some stuff out of the way and I will show you how it turned out. So I might go back and embellish it a little bit more, but I want to kind of just show you how it came together. So I'll pull it through because this was the hard part about having wanted to have the camera low enough that you could see everything. I don't know that I'm going to get everything on here. Let's see. The raspberry and then the candy apple. Okay, so that's how it turned out. Like I said, I think I'm going to go back in. I'm going to maybe add some little ribbons onto the little decorations in the middle. But I wanted to kind of show you how to put it together before I put everything up on my blog. And like I said, check the blog. There's going to be a design space file this weekend at some point. I'll try and get it done for tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure whether I'll be able to get it up before the end of the day, but this weekend for sure. And I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.